said school days are the best days of our lives? Primary school is one thing, but secondary school, or high school in the US, is a different story. Secondary school students have to survive adolescence and prepare themselves for adult life. They need to take decisions about subjects. Will languages or science open more doors? And about their future direction. Should I leave school and get a job, study a vocational qualification to be an electrician or a plumber, etc., or take higher school qualifications to go to university and study a degree? Then, if they choose to stay at school and apply for university, they will spend 2 years combining out-of-school activities with sitting exams, working to get good marks, finding out about courses, and going to interviews, as well as doing homework, exam revision, hobbies, and having a social life. In the UK, sixth form students have to send applications to universities 1 year prior to entrance. They need to have good marks in their GCSE exams and perhaps other skills such as playing a musical instrument, public speaking, or computer literacy, and be involved in voluntary work because there is a lot of competition for places. They are then required to pass their A-levels and get the marks set by their chosen university. In the US, getting into the university of your choice is a full-time job. Students spend long hours writing essays for the universities. They must work hard to get a high GPA. Some families employ agencies to prepare their children for interviews. Others send their children on weekend courses at the universities to improve their chances. Who said school days are the best days of our lives? Nostalgia is a curious thing.
To discover learning and learn by discovery. If you visit the website of most schools today, you will find information on exam results, the curriculum, and year groups. Schools want to show that they are academically successful, so they post a list of how well their students do in state exams. They also post a list of staff members and their experience, as well as the subjects that are offered at the school. Less importance is given to extracurricular activities and school trips. However, there are some schools that avoid putting exam results and academic subjects as more important than students' social skills and individual potential. Instead, school trips and art projects are as important as maths. In Britain, Summerhill is one school where pupils and staff decide on school rules democratically instead of the headmaster. In Spain, Montessori schools have become well known to parents looking for effective, alternative education. There are about 20,000 Montessori schools around the world. The Montessori method is based on natural human characteristics like curiosity, communication, sensory exploration, and repetition, and it develops independent thinking and freedom of thought. Students are allowed to work on whatever subjects they like for long periods of time. There are no school bells, and no one may interrupt them. Teachers act more like monitors than tutors. They can observe and help, but they are not allowed to interrupt the students. The schools let students learn subjects that interest them, and they have access to the materials that they need. Because they enjoy working, students remember what they learn. Children of different ages also work together, so 5-year-old pupils may participate in activities with 8-year-old pupils. Older children can do research projects on anything that interests them. They usually concentrate for long periods of time and are interested in what they do. That is why Montessori school leavers become successful, confident adults.
Have you decided what school to send your child to? Because I was reading about Montessori schools and they sound really interesting. They have a different perspective on education, encouraging kids to be curious and follow their interests. In fact, they let the students study whatever they want for as long as they want. Another interesting thing about Montessori schools is that students of different ages participate in activities together instead of always being separated by grade. Apparently, this method of teaching helps children enjoy school and learning. There are more than 20,000 of these schools around the world, so their ideas must be working for the schools to be so popular.
Oh, look! I see they still have to wear the green and white summer dress, but it looks like they don't have to wear those terrible hats anymore. And they can study computer science nowadays. Gosh, we had to calculate everything in our heads, and we could only use a calculator in physics. That was all the technology we had. Greek. We were allowed to do Greek, but it wasn't obligatory. Let's see. No, that hasn't changed. They can choose Greek if they want. Oh, wow! Mandarin Chinese! We couldn't do that. We had to study at least 3 languages, but they didn't let us do Chinese. The gardens are still there, and only teachers and prefects are allowed to walk in them. Some things never change.
Hey, that's my old school. So they have a web page. Of course, all schools have to have a web page nowadays, I suppose. I wonder if it's changed at all. Let's see. Oh, that building is different, and where's the swimming pool? We had a swimming pool right there. It was freezing, but it's gone. I still remember we had to get dressed standing next to the swimming pool. We weren't allowed to change in the toilets because they didn't want water on the floor. So we had to stand and do acrobatics to change. It was terrible. And we weren't allowed to look at the girls. Teachers put us in detention if we looked. We were only 9 or 10 years old. And then we were allowed to go to the library after swimming, and they let us sit on the floor. It was lovely and warm in the library. Some children fell asleep while we were reading. You weren't allowed to fall asleep, but it was a modern school. We had a library in each area and a big open classroom for 2 year groups. We had an area where you could do art and make things. Hey, look at the photos, the library and those little rooms. The ones with the silly rule about talking, they're still there.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Your headmistress, Ms. Fisher, has invited me here today to give you some idea of what we, employers, companies, look for in a job interview. What we look for in a candidate in a job interview. The, perfect candidate.
Don't you just look at exam results and academic success? I mean, they're the best things...
Shh, Jade.
No, that's a good question. And the answer is no, not really. A person's character is very important too, and their social skills, if they can work with people. In fact, depending on the job, you have to have very good social skills, but you don't need to have many academic qualifications at all.
No qualifications? No school qualifications? Then why are we here?
I didn't say no qualifications. I said not many, and depending on the job.
But if I want to be a car mechanic, why do I need French? And history, and geography, and...
Simple. You must show people that you can work and that you can work hard. Academic success shows hard work, not just intelligence. A company looking for a car mechanic doesn't need to employ someone who can speak French, no. But they want people who can work hard and who can learn.
Ah.
And if you want to be a car mechanic, it's also a good idea to study for a vocational qualification next year.
A vocational qualification? Where do they let you do that?
At a further education college. There's one in the centre of town. Next to the sixth form college, in fact.
Oh, great. I'll have to go and ask.
Yes. So, social skills, hard work, an ability to learn, and academic subjects for some jobs. Also, if you want to go to university...